Hey guys, in today's video, let's little explore about ChatGPT. So as you might have heard about ChatGPT, right? It's now the hot cake at this moment, and a lot of people are exploring about this ChatGPT. So even I'm also planning to explore a little bit about ChatGPT, and let's see what are the things that it can do for us, right? So I have just logged into the chat.openai.com and chat, and you have to just sign up with your account, and it will give you a verification code on your cell phone, and you have to just enter the verification code and your account will be created. So once your account is created, you'll land into this page, right? And once you land into this page, you click on new chat, or probably instead of clicking on new chat, what you can do is you can start writing your queries here. So I wanted to take you a moment, it I'm sure like it can do a lot of in automation. So if you have a look, right, let's say I want to run some sort of automation. I don't want to search for the code in Google, right? I want to search like okay, for example, like how to add users into call manager using Python script. Let's see if we can do that, right? Can you write me a code to add users to Cesium using Python? So let's see if it does that, right? Yes, you can use Python request library to add users to call manager using the Excel API. Here's an example to get you started, right? So if you have a look, right, it starts writing up the query. Now for example, right, it is also giving it this information, what kind of request it is making, what are the parameters, or what are the kind of configuration that you need. So for example, it is trying to call some request and XML, and then it is trying to call set the Excel endpoint and credential by putting it up the library over here, right? So you have to enter the call manager URL, username, password, and then what it does, it sends a payload. So it sends a payload using here the parameters over here, what you see, user ID, password, last name, first name. So this particular information is something you need to define this parameter here. Example user, what is the user ID, password, example last name, first name. And once you define this, it is going to send this payload, and it is going to send a response. And if the response is 200 okay, it is going to interpret a response if the response code is apart from 200, right? So it is going to say give you like it is not able to add the user, right? This is cool. So you don't have to write a code. All it does is chat OpenAI writes the code by itself. This is amazing, right? It gives you so much of flexibility, right? Instead of writing the code from the scratch, it does everything for you. Now this is in case of one user, right? Let me do one thing. Let me ask chat OpenAI that if how to add users in bulk, right? Let's do that. Let's see if it helps us here. Okay, so it says like you can do that as well using a CSV file. Wow. Let's see what it says. It's also, in this case, it is importing additional parameter here, like which is a CSV. This model is being imported, and now here this configuration remains same. So that's what it looks like, and it is generating the payload here. I'm sure most of the payload would be similar to what you see here. And after it adds the payload, I think it is going to call the CSV file, and from the CSV file it is going to add the user in a loop condition. Okay, so it is trying to read the user details using a loop condition. Okay, wow, this is amazing. Okay, so it is going to add the payload here. It is going to send the response. If the response comes 200, which is good, then the user will be added. Otherwise, if the response comes anything apart from 200, I believe like it's going to fail the request. That's amazing. Okay, so as you see, right, so now this particular oh, okay, so it is also trying to add the CSV file as well. So this is showing you how does the sample CSV looks like. So when you add this Python code in your system, you add this CSV file in your system as well, in the same directory, where you are going to put the header on the top, and after the header you are going to put the actual users here, user one, password, first name, last name, and first name, right, and save the CSV file. So whenever this Python script runs, it is going to take up this CSV file and then is basically execute this CSV file one by one using loop. Right, this is amazing. Let's now see if, let's say, if I want to do a SSH on one of the voice gateway, how do I do that? Let's see. Oh, okay. So it says like you can use Paramiko library in order to log in to Cisco router SSH, and it is in this first section. If you see, it is calling the library Paramiko, and it is calling up the host name here in this section and define the username and password. Okay, and then here it is trying to create a SSH client, and then it is going to execute show interface. As soon as you log in, it is going to execute show interfaces as per this, what I can see, and then print you the output and then close the SSH connection. So it also gives you like this code will connect to the Cisco router using SSH, run the show interface command and retrieve the information about the interface on the router and print the output. You can modify the host name, username, password variables as needed. You specify for your specific router and replace the show interface command with any other command that you need to run in the router, right? So this is basically talking about this particular section here, right? This is amazing. So let me also try to ask if OpenAI knows about anything about log into Microsoft Teams using PowerShell. Let's see what does it give. All right, let's see if it knows anything about it. Yes, you can use PowerShell to log into Microsoft Teams using the Microsoft REST API. Here's the code. Let's see. All right. Okay, so I think this is the client ID, something like you need to grab it from, I think, from Microsoft. I've not used this, to be honest, but I'm amazed to see this. Like it does, write a PowerShell query to, query any of those information. Okay. This code will authenticate to Microsoft Teams using your credential and retrieve an access to token that can be used to access the Microsoft Teams data. You will need to replace the username and password variables with your actual Microsoft Teams account credential, and you also need to modify the client ID and scope variable on your Microsoft, on your specific requirement. So this clearly talks about like these are the parameters which you need to replace, right? And once you replace this, it should be able to connect to your Microsoft and of course username and password. And once you do that, right, you should be able to connect to your Microsoft Teams admin and do whatever you would like to. Now a similar thing we can ask to write in Python, and let's see if it gives any response for Python as well using, let's see. Oh wow, so it also gives you Python script as well. Okay, client ID. Now, let me stop generating this. I know it can generate. Let me ask another question. Can you write me a script to add user to Microsoft Teams? Let's see if it does give me anything. Unfortunately, Microsoft Teams does not provide an API for adding users directly to the Microsoft Teams admin center. The recommended way to add users is via Azure directory or identity management like Microsoft Exchange or Okta, which can be integrated with Microsoft Teams. This can be automated using this script or another tool using the bulk user. If you're using Azure Active Directory, you can use Microsoft Graph API to add users in your directory. Here's an example to get started using Python and Microsoft Graph API. So it gives you what it can do and what it cannot do. Not technically a challenge from OpenAI, but it's a technical limitation from Microsoft, right, which does not allow you to directly do this. So basically you need to send your request to Microsoft Azure directory in order to create users. So this is very good. So I would say this is amazing for if you want to experience this for any sort of automation. I'm sure we can try using this. Whether it is working or not, whether we have to manipulate our codes or not, that is something we have to test it. But at least we know, right, it is capable enough to generate such automation codes for us, right? So I'm going to little explore more on this, but at this moment I just wanted to show you up what it can do and what it cannot do. So this is amazing. I'll also try to come up with more things with OpenAI and see what we can achieve with that. Okay, I hope this video is informative for you. Thank you for watching.